Ah, yes. Another 30 for 30. This is one of these, where they're going to talk about, how Asia was always ran by China and China's the base of all of Asia. But you want to talk about Asia and being, more secure without the West and things like that. Okay, okay. But what's what's really making Asia insecure? It's not American aircraft carriers. This propaganda tweet from, the so-called President Xi commentary, you know, Twitter channel thing here. Page hints this romanticized fantasy of peaceful, wise, harmonious Asia, all thanks to China. Right? It's always thanks to China. But here's the reality. China is not the healer of Asia. It's the disease of Asia. It's the new disease of Asia, actually. Let's be honest here. They just now recently have gotten annoying enough to affect everyone else. The entire narrative, though, is drenched in this like insane hypocrisy, some historical, they've erased quite a bit of history here, and this authoritarianism delusion that has been placed on them also. But you want to talk about the history? Let's do that for a second. Let's actually think about what happened in history with China. Let's talk about how China never really ruled Asia. Let's talk about how Japan, not China, was the dominant power in the region for centuries. Let's talk about how India, with its vast culture, economy, and reach, was a global center of science, philosophy, and trade long before the Han people even considered calling themselves an empire. Because that's what it is. Let's talk about the Mongol Empire. What about them, right? The largest land empire in human history, right? They ruled China. They ruled most of Asia. Let's be honest. They didn't get that power from Confucianism like this guy's talking about. They got it through conquest, okay? They got it through fire and dominance. And now what do we have? We have the modern Chinese Communist Party, the CCP, ruling over nearly the exact same borders. I wonder why that is. It's almost like one finally came and, oh, I don't know, stole from the other, right? They stole the stolen land. I mean, it's so obvious, right? If the Mongols were the greatest land thieves in history, I mean, then the CCP is just their new face. The conquerors have never left. They just changed their name and started waving red flags, right? That's the difference. Let's not pretend the Han Chinese were some peaceful philosophers who just wanted, harmony. The truth is, they become exactly what they claim to oppose, the imperial power trying to dominate the region, right? They're saying that they're not that, but that's exactly what they are today. And let's break down that disgusting, self-glorifying paragraph about gunboats and gold lust. What is China doing right now in the South China Sea? Building illegal islands, militarizing coral reefs, threatening Filipino fishermen, sending their navy to block and bully smaller nations. Gunboats, you've got them. Lust for gold. Try the Belt and Road Initiative. I mean, China literally hands out debt like heroin and then demands ports, highways, and power grids when countries can't pay. You are the empire now. Malaysia, ravaged, by colonialism. But now it's being economically bled dry by Chinese debt traps. Vietnam shattered, by war. Okay, we can admit that. But today China is threatening them again, stealing their waters and violating their sovereignty. Okay? Let's not pretend Asia is suffering because of the West. Asia is suffering because it's trapped between a past of colonialization and the future of Chinese control. Okay? And don't even get me started on this line. Wherever imperial boats marched, civilization crumbled. You know where civilization is crumbling? Inside your own borders. Tibet, occupied. Hong Kong, silenced. Xinjiang, a modern-day police state. Civilization isn't thriving under Chinese control. It's being suffocated. You don't cultivate peace. You manufacture obedience. The only thing China has successfully exported to Asia is fear. That's right. fear that you'll be the next, that if you speak up, that if you push back or you disagree, that Beijing will cut your trade, that they're going to send warships to your shores and flood your markets with propaganda and counterfeit goods. And then comes the most arrogant line in the whole tweet. He says, Asia needs only one thing. Let the invaders go home. My gosh. The irony. Fine. Let the invaders go home. But let me ask you a question. Who invaded Tibet? Oh, that's right. That was China. Who tried to claim the entire South China Sea? Oh, that's right. That was China. Who flies warplanes over Taiwan daily? Oh, that's right. That's China. The nation that needs to go home is China, because you're in places you don't belong. You're in mines you don't own. You're in universities stealing research. You're in factories flooding the world with low quality junk. You're in governments bribing officials. You're in African nations digging out minerals and giving back nothing. You're the virus pretending to be the cure. You cry about Western hypocrisy, but let's talk about your hypocrisy. You say the West enslaved others, but today you run forced labor camps. Today. You say the West destroys cultures, yet you erase Uyghur identity, Tibetan religion, and Cantonese language. You say the West spreads chaos, yet your own people aren't even allowed to speak freely. You block Google, Facebook, Twitter, and then complain when others speak truth about you on those same platforms. You want the West to go home? Fine, after you get out of everyone else's home first. And this idea that China is a, central pillar of stability, that is laughable. You are the central pillar of paranoia, the central pillar of manipulation, the central pillar of state control, of media, of lies, and data theft, and just everything. Censorship. If Asia really wanted peace, it wouldn't be looking to China. It would be praying for China to collapse inward, to reform, to finally allow its people to breathe. Let's be honest. Nobody likes China right now. Your neighbors don't trust you. Your trading partners are waking up. Okay? Your own people are starting to lose faith in your fake economy. And when the world finally cuts you off, it won't be the West who destroyed you. It'll be your own pride, your own lies, your own refusal to change. So here's the final truth. Asia doesn't need the West, right? And Asia doesn't need China either. But what Asia needs is freedom. They need fairness and the right to choose. Not to be told. Not to be dominated. And definitely not to be ruled by the dissidents of an empire that once burned everything in its path and now pretends it was, watering flowers. We see you. We see your lies. We see your fear. And we're not fooled. Okay? Like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for coming to this 30 for 30. I appreciate it. And have a good day.